Hello everybody, today I want to go over a topic that I get asked frequently, as I am now a owner of the Kain 100 and also of the Model D. Now both of these mice have been labeled as great drag clicking mice, and they both get, well, supposedly high CPS. I'm going to be covering that in the video. But I just really want to go over everything about these mice, what's different about them, what's similar about them, what I like about them, what could be improved. Basically, just cover all the topics into 3 different categories. Now, the first category I'm going to be doing is bridging, which is why I'm here on MC Play HD. I'm going to be on anti-AC for the next 2 topics. They are going to be clutching and, well, reducing. So please do take everything I say into consideration, as I don't want anyone to buy the wrong mouse for them and then be unhappy with their decision. Okay, the first topic I'm going to be covering is bridging. Now, as you can see right here, I have the Rocat Kain 100, or 102 if you're very specific, and I have the glorious Model D. Now, both of these mice have a debounce feature, except the Kain 100 can have the debounce set to 0, just no debounce, while the Model D can only go down to 4. Now, there is a software called X mouse button control that will allow it to go all the way down to 1, but it doesn't make that big a difference. Right now, just as far as debounce would go, I'd say the Kain is better, but I mean, you gotta hear me out for bridging, okay? Honestly, for bridging, it's a difficult comparison, because on bridging you really need to do short dragging, and for tellies, you only need to use like half the mouse button, and the Model D only does have like half a mouse button because of the honeycomb cutout. So the Kain is better for telly bridging, much better, because you can actually long drag on it for a long time compared to the Model D. Why am I doing so bad right now? So yeah, the Kain I would say is better for telly bridging, and I mean, more people use it for that. But there is also different bridging, so like short dragging, whereas you really don't need to have much mouse button at all. In fact, on the Kain I just use the very end of it. Same thing with the Model D. But the Model D does move when short dragging on it, at least with all the tape I've put on it and that stuff. But that is where the Razor grip tape comes in handy, because without this thing I wouldn't even be able to drag click on it for bridging. So I'm just going to show you a quick God bridge comparison, and you can go ahead and watch my CPS too of the 2 mice. Okay, so I know that I really didn't finish the full God bridge with the Model D, but I mean, you get the point. The Kain is just, it doesn't move as much, and honestly, when drag clicking, it feels a whole lot more sturdy, because, well, the Model D is hollow, I guess. Well, there's the honeycomb cutouts, and that makes it a whole lot lighter. And also, just the clicks on the Kain, they just make it feel more solid and sturdy. So honestly, I think for bridging, the overall winner is the Kain 100. But I mean, if you still do like the Model D and how light it is, like this thing is only a 10-gram difference, maybe like 15 or something. And that's not gonna affect you that much when bridging. And if you can hold your mouse when you drag click, I just recommend the Kain. It's got better CPS. It feels more sturdy, and honestly, for my hand personally, because I got huge hands, the Kain is just a better fit for me, and it's also a whole lot easier to just claw grip. So that's it for, well, bridging. Okay, the server just crashed on me. That's it for bridging. I'm going to anti-AC now for reducing. Okay, the first mouse I'm going to be using for reducing is going to be the Kain 100, and I just want to say, yes, bedless is on, so if you see a ton of little kids spamming in the chat, just don't ask. But right now I'm just going to be going over the Kain for reducing. Now, as you can see, I'm barely using any of the mouse button whatsoever, and still getting like nearly 20 CPS reduces, which is really good, because that means even if you use more of the mouse button, you can get higher CPS for reduces and just overall get better clips. But really, I think the Kain is great for reducing and clutching overall, because if I can get an extended clutch off of a reduce, then it's going to be turn out into an amazing clip, and it's just better for reducing overall. Now, the Model D is still good for reducing, but there is the whole reducing and clutching part. So right now, the Kain 100, I believe, is doing pretty good. I'm still getting wrecked by this guy, but he's pretty good. So yeah, I'm just gonna let this fight just play out until one of us scores again, and then I'll switch to the Model D. Also, I 1v1'd Bedless, so I might have a few clips of that. Ooh, thunder. Okay, he scored, so now I'm going to switch over to the Model D for reducing. Now, this one can have some trouble with the grip, as, well, it's not that good, so you might honestly need to rub electrical tape on it, which is what I'm going to do. And, well, if you hear some loud noises in the background, it is raining outside, yes. So, yeah. You AFK, dude? Now, overall, I would say the Model D feels, well, bad in my hand for reducing, because it's a lighter mouse, so the clicks don't feel that good on it when you are long dragging. And honestly, I would just not recommend it, because you don't get as high CPS with it. And I had to use the Razer grip tape just to drag on it at first, and it's not that good for reducing. I really recommend the Kain or some sturdier mouse. But yeah, really, for reducing, I don't need to say much. The Kain is just the better mouse overall, and I would really recommend that you get it. But anyways, just move on to clutches. Okay, so now I'm on clutches, and once again, I have the Kain 100 and the Model D. Now, as you can see, I took off the Razer grip tape, and it's now just the mouse, just how you would normally get it out of the box. I also tried to clean off the button a bit, so the grip is mostly normal. It still has a whole lot of electrical tape residue on it, but oh well, that makes it honestly easier to drag on. So it should help the Model D get a bit of an unfair advantage, but honestly, just wait and see. Okay, so right now, I just want to say, first of all, what I'm going to be showing you. So, as you can see, on the Kain, the mouse button is obviously a whole lot longer to where you can actually drag click on it, because on the Model D, you cannot drag click on these honeycomb parts. It's basically impossible. Unless you are super somehow skilled and can actually get those to drag, I would be shocked if you could do a whole long drag on this. So right now, really, you can only use about this part of it. So I'm just going to be comparing them in extensions real quick. So first clip, I'm going to show you the Kain, and the next one, the Model D. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I cannot do extensions with the Model D. That last one, you saw that. That was so close. It's just the button. It is not nearly as long as the Kain to be able to do longer clutches. So it would maybe be good to do like flat clutches if you're doing like 2 or 3 block flats to just get a quick drag on it. But honestly, for overall extended clutches and just clutching in general, once again, the winner is the Kain 100. And honestly, once again, the weight of it doesn't really matter that much. It's It's so close. It's honestly hard to tell. So now that I have showed you what I think of both of the mice, I hope that you can make a good decision if you want to buy either one of these. Which one might be the one for you, so that way you don't end up making a mistake like I did and end up getting a mouse that you're going to be unsatisfied with for a while. So really thank you for watching, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as most of my viewers aren't subscribed, and I hate to be that person to say it, but I mean, it's true. But with all that set aside, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. I was building a computer, which then one of the parts didn't work, and then another one of the parts didn't work, and it still doesn't work, okay? So thank you for watching, and bye.